Hey y'all, it's Crystal. Thanks for coming by today. Let's just chat about June reading plans. Yeah, because it's that time of year already. So let's just go right into it because I've got a pile of things here, a list of things here. You know, I mean, we're winging it. All right, let's go. So June's always fun, you know, of course, you know, it kind of kicks off summer in my mind, you know, June, and there's always a bunch of fun stuff that happens in June on Booktube, and June itself has its own events, and yeah, summer I think is always really fun around here and on Booktube, so I'm really excited about that. Let's see, but before I get to any kind of events and things, and let's just do sort of book club stuff, you know, that kind of stuff. So I don't forget to trigger my own. So of course, our Death by TBR book club that I co-host with Kelly from Kelly Hooked on Books. We have a book every month that we read. The Discord for that is always linked below. Again, it's a just easy breezy, you know, check in when you want kind of book club. But we're gonna read Juliet Takes a Breath by Gabby Rivera this month. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be just really a nice summer read, a slightly come of age type of story, and fits in for Pride Month. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be fun. A couple of other things I have on my list for book clubs are Jen over at Literary Love 123 is doing her newish book club kickoff, and she is doing Picnic and Hanging Rock for June. That is by Joan Lindsay. I've not read that book before, so I'm looking forward to hopefully I can find that one and get to it. I'm hoping to read that one. And then the Fright Club, which is run by Secrets Reads and Cliff Stark Gems. They're reading Weave World by Clive Barker. If I can get a copy of that somewhere, my library, I just checked my library today, they don't have it. So I really want to read that book, but that's a maybe. And then just another sort of clubby book is this one I just picked up from the library, is The Delicate Dream Department Store. This is by Mia Lee and translated by Sandy Jusen Lee. And I have a little K-pop Discord that's fun. And this year I did a little book section where we were chatting about books by Asian authors this year. And it's just a book every other month. So our May-June book is this book. So I'm really looking forward to this. Look at this cute little, like, I don't know, it's just a cute little book too. But so this, from what I gather, it's kind of like what it says here. It's a department store that sells you, that you can go in and kind of, I think like a transfer, like change your life, you know what I mean? So a department store that sells dreams. So you can come in and, you know, pick a different, maybe like life for yourself or things like that. I'm thinking is how it works. But so Penny, she's working there, and she uncovers the workings of the whimsical world. I don't know. I don't really want to know much more about it. I just kind of want to go into this one. I think it sounds kind of like a delightful sort of story. And yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. So there is that. That's kind of all I've got on my list for book club stuff. Any other book club stuff, you know, I always join in when I can. If I could get the book, you know, that kind of stuff. So anything else, we'll see. But okay, events. So summer usually kicks off some summer long type of events, and so I'll talk about those first because again, a lot of that kicks off in June or even kind of the tail end of May, like Big Book Summer. All the hosts for all these events I will link below. Big Book Summer, I think lasts the whole summer. I think Memorial Day to like Labor Day, sort of here in the US. So again, kind of, you know, the bulk of the summer. I do have a couple of things for Big Book Summer, and they are big books that I want to finish because I started them once upon a time and they've just sat unfinished, including Ninth Strength Women. Very big book. It is a nonfiction book by Mary Gabriel that I just want to kind of mosey my way through this summer to finish. And this one that I started years ago, and looks like I got halfway through. For some reason I set it down. And so I'd like to finish out Stamped from the Beginning, The Definitive History of Racist Ideas in America, of course, by Ibram X. Kennedy. I'm loving this. I really don't know why I set it down. I'm gonna be honest. I just have absolutely no idea. But anyway, I want to finish it out, and it's a big book, and there you go. That's kind of the gist of that. So what else is kind of summer long? We've got, oh yes, summer of Trek. Will this be the summer Crystal finally reads a Star Trek book? I don't know. She puts them on her TBR every summer and never reads one. You know, this could be the year that changes everything. I don't know. As always, I'm going to put 2 Star Trek books on my TBR. I've got Star Trek Sanctuary, a new novel by John Vornholt. So this is featuring Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock. I don't know what it's about. I'm sure I read it once upon a time. I don't know. I was like, I got a Voyager novel. I got a little handful of these Voyager novels. I'm a Voyager fan. I know some people don't like Voyager, but I love me some Captain Janeway. And so this is book 4 in the sort of, I guess, Voyager series called Violations. So, I don't know. I got that. I also have some of these old, I have a couple of like comic books. These could be fun. This is like a special. This one is a TNG one. I don't know. I could do it, you know. I also have this, right? Now, well, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it could be fun to like, it seriously goes by like episodes of all of the shows. Say the one and only guide to every episode of Classic Trek, TNG, Animated Trek, and unproduced episodes of the 70s, all the movies, and then there's like some bonus chapters on Making of Deep Space Nine and Voyager. So this is kind of an older book, but it'd be fun to just kind of go in and poke around maybe some of my favorite episodes or just something. I think it would be fun. So this came out in 95, so yeah, it's a bit old, but like, so it's just kind of a little, like right here. It's just a little blurb, like here's this episode. It's just a little blurb, you know, kind of about each particular episode. I think it can be fun, like I said, just to kind of poke around in for the summer. And as far as I know, let's see. Yeah, so it's all summer. I think June, July, and August as well for summer of Trek. And then, of course, there's the Summer Book Bingo. I always have fun with Summer Book Bingo. This is hosted by Tiffany over at Beautiful Minutia. Again, everyone's channels will be linked below. And she always creates a really fun bingo board for us. And, you know, there is a giveaway component to this one where, you know, you get a gift card at the end. Every time you get a bingo, you get an entry. So she always has fun prompts. I'm looking forward to what I can fill in. I haven't picked out anything in particular yet. I usually, you know, spend June and July just kind of filling in with what I already read because I usually can. And then by August, I'm like, okay, I need to like specifically read something. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where that is. I think, isn't all of the summer long things? Let me tell you, I hope so. Because I had, yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, so June specific things, events, and stuff. Of course, June on the Range. I always have fun with June on the Range. So I'm looking forward to June on the Range again. And so the last, you know, it's funny because I've not read a Western book in my life until June on the Range, you know. So I think this is the 3rd year for June on the Range. It's funny because a book I have read during June on the Range has ended up on my fave list of that year. So True Grit and Shame all ended up on my fave books of that year that I read them. So, I mean, that's kind of exciting. So June on the Range, my sort of Western classic, you know, for the month is going to be The Oxbow Incident by Walter Van Tilburg Clark. I've had this on my shelf for a long time, and I'm looking forward to finally getting to it. I've heard it's nothing but good things. It's short. It's just, you know, it's a little over 200 pages. It's got this really old copy. I mean, I'm not sure if the cover is going to hang on, but it just sounds really, really good. Kind of like mob justice, but it takes place, of course, in the Old West. You know, men of action let their anger goad them into taking the law into their own hands. It sounds good. It sounds really good. I've heard, like I said, heard good stuff. I think I've had this on TBR last year, probably even before that. I've had this book on my shelf for literal years. A friend of mine's husband wrote this book, and I bought it, and I haven't read it yet, still. I am ashamed of that, really. But 2017, yeah, so 2017 I bought this book. I bought it brand new. Anyway, this is sort of, you know, I use the term Western a bit loosely when I pick some of my books sometimes, but this takes place sort of post-Civil War. We're following a guy named Dr. Alexander Potter, a disgraced Civil War surgeon, and now he kind of goes or travels around, you know, a snake oil salesman, you know, and this does take place in the Pacific Northwest, with a disheartened company of strongmen, illusionists, fortune tellers, and, you know, things like that. So, yada yada. So they go. Let's see. They entertain masses while hawking the Choctaw Sagwa tonic, a vital elixir touted to cure, you know, everything basically. Let's see. But for a few unfortunate customers, the Sagwa offers something much more worse. Dun, 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 dun. So there's this dentist guy. I think he gets probably. It says the Sagwa has taken everything from him. So. Again, the hired company of accidental outlaws. There's bickering brothers. Maybe there's like some revenge in here. I don't know. It sounds like a fun time. Again, not necessarily, you know, a Western or what you think of a Western. There's no, you know, cowboys and things like that in here, but nobody ranging, you know, whatever. But it sounds fun, right? Yeah. And kind of the same with this one. The Good Luck Girls, I think I'm pretty sure I had this on another previous June on the Range TBR. The Good Luck Girls by Charlotte Nicole Davis. Pretty sure this is a YA novel. I've had it on my shelf for a little while now. That gives me Western vibes. I'm not even really sure the time period of this. Like I said, it's got vibes. We're following, you know, this group of girls who are basically work in, you know, sort of, we'll say a house of ill repute, you know what I mean? And I think one of them accidentally kills a man, and so these girls end up having to go on the run, and they're pursued by, you know, vicious and powerful forces, human and inhuman, and their only hope lies in a bedtime story passed from one good luck girl to another, a story that only the youngest or most desperate would ever believe. So, like I said, it's got vibes. I mean, the cover, you know, it's definitely giving Western vibes. It takes place in, I don't know. I don't know where it takes place. Does it say? No. I don't know setting or time period, but this gorgeous cover, yeah, maybe this will be the month I finally read it. Again, this one's also vibes. This is Woman of Light by Kali Fayardo Einstein. Please, I do not know if I said that right. I do apologize. I should look that up. First of all, gorgeous cover. Okay, now this isn't like, you know, the sort of typical time period for a Western. It takes place a little bit later, but it's in 1930s. It's set in Denver. We're following this woman who's a tea leaf reader and a laundress, and she's left to fend for herself after her older brother Diego, a snake charmer and a factory worker, is run out of town by a violent white mob. As she navigates 1930s Denver, she begins to have visions that transport her to her indigenous homeland in the nearby Lost Territory. So she recollects her ancestors' origins, how her family flourished, and how they were threatened. She bears witness to the sinister forces that have devastated her people and her homelands for generations. So in the end, it's up to her to save her family's stories from disappearing into oblivion. So it just sounds kind of lovely. You know, I love stuff about, like, you know, family and heritage and things like that. So again, it's Western-ish, you know what I mean? It's Western adjacent. And again, I'm still trying to read what I own, read what you own challenge. I'm becoming very overwhelmed by the amount of books in my life. So there's that. There is also the Unhinged Bunch Readathon going on. This is a Patreon event with Slam and Slashers. It came from the page, and Spicy Cats Reads. So if you're a member of their Patreon, you know all about it. I have not picked a thing, and I may focus more on the watching side of that event. I don't know. Like I said, I've not picked a thing, though I've written them on my list. There is the Richard Laymon Readathon that was just announced most recently. I don't think I've written it even down yet. I don't know, y'all. I had 2 Richard Laymon books on. I owned 2 before. I'm pretty sure I unhauled them because I was like, I'm never going to read this author. I'm just, you know, I'm not interested, you know. Because I looked and I think I unhauled them. So I don't know if I'm going to get into a Richard Laymon book or not. But if you want to, there's a Richard Laymon event going on. Okay, just so you know. What else have I got? Summer Room Trek, Summer Book Bingo, June on the Range. There is also another event, which I'm going to do a separate video for because I want to kind of get the word out about this event. It's Kim over at the Paper Traveler. I'll link her announcement below. It's called Scary Summer Reading Challenge. It starts on June 20th and then goes through July 4th. So it's a little 2-week thing. It's a really fun, she put together a really fun challenge to read, spooky stuff. And so just, get that on your radar. I'm going to probably, I don't know when I'll make the video, but I've got a separate, point is I've got a separate little video I'm going to do for that. So I'm not going to talk about those books right now because I want to give that its own thing. I'm going to keep making my way through this short story collection because I didn't read a single story out of it in May. So the only way I'm going to finish short story collections that I own is to read them. There's that. It is Pride Month. What I did just recently get this out from the library. Haley Piper, one of my favorite authors. This is a book of hers I have not read though. A Light Most Hateful. A juicy horror tale that I know is set place in the summer. So I saw my library had this. I was like, hello, library, thank you. So I'm looking forward to this. And yeah, very excited. Also pulled, just for Pride in general, I pulled out some of my manga that I own and manhwas. So this is manhwa. On or Off, Volume 1. I have Volumes 1 and 2 of Twilight Out of Focus. These are just like BL mangas. I've got the 2 that my friend Claude sent to me that I'm really excited about, so maybe I can get to those. Yeah, that'll be exciting. I just kind of pulled those out for Pride Month. The rest of these books I kind of just pulled out because they gave me like summery vibes, and I maybe not read them all in June. I could get to some of them in July or August or so, but like The Forgotten Island by David Sodergren. I mean, it's about people that travel to Thailand and get into some shenanigans. Yeah, it sounds yeah. I don't know what made me this think of summer, but it's a book I really need to read. I've owned it for several years. Megan Lucas. I won it at a giveaway. She signed it and mailed it to me and everything. Megan Lucas is an author that lives in the Western Mountains of here in North Carolina. I've heard this book is fantastic. Well, haven't I read it? Lord, I don't know. I know it's a sort of gritty sort of story, so I've heard it's fantastic. I was feeling maybe a little space horror could be fun. Kylie Wallace's Dead Space. I've not read a good horror sci-fi in a while. It could be awesome. I don't know. I was working on vibes here. The thing is, I have a million books I could choose from. So this was giving me definite summer vibes. Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. I've always loved this cover. I believe this is a YA book too, but it's takes place a place called Sawkill Rock, where gleaming horses graze in rolling pastures and cold waves crash against black cliffs, where kids whisper the legend of an insidious monster at parties and around campfires, where girls have been disappearing for decades, stolen away by a ravenous evil no one has dared to fight until now. I mean, summer vibes, right? For some reason, that's giving me summer vibes. Let's just pull all these out. For some reason, this was giving me summer. It was kind of giving me like Beachree The Return by Rachel Harrison. Still haven't read it. Yeah. All the Fiends of Hell. I don't know. Why not? Summer. Sure. I've heard it's great. We'll see. This was giving me kind of summery vibes. Anybody Home by Michael Seglinger. I think this is kind of a home invasion type of story. Could be fun. Once I finish that other short story collection, I'd like to dig into this one. It's called Far From Home, and it is an anthology of adventure horror. It's giving me, summer vibes, traveling, camping, cabining, yeah, that cover is so creepy. And it's got some awesome authors in here. You have Allie C., who I love, Cynthia Paleo, Haley Piper, Stephanie Ellis, Beverly Lee, all kinds of folks in here. And it's edited by Samantha Kolesnik, who we love. So yes, I have that. couple more. I don't even know why I pulled all these books. I'm not gonna read all these. Such Pretty Flowers by K.L. Sarah. It just, it just gave me summer vibes. Takes place in Savannah. I mean, yeah, okay, so, yeah. This was giving me kind of summery vibes. The Plague Stones, I've had this book on my shelf so long. She Waited Centuries for Revenge. This is by James Brogdon. So we're following a girl named Trish. I work with this lady who says her name like that. It's Trish. It's Trish. Anyway, that's so random. So Trish, she gets a fresh start in a charming historic community, but in the back garden of her new cottage sits an unsettling reminder of past wrongs. A standing stone, once one of the markers that kept plague sufferers outside the village bounds. Its power is renewed every year in a ritual that seems to be more than just an oddity. Yo, goes from there. Okay, see, I don't know, it gave me summer vibes. And then this one, I think I've had on summer TBR before, because it's got a swimming pool and like a tennis court. It's called When No One Was Looking by Rosemary Wells. This is an old point horror book. Yeah, following this girl Kathy, who was a natural at tennis. She wanted to turn pro, but the only one thing is standing between her and the top, and that's Ruth. Oh, a big, strong player who Kathy cannot defeat until one morning Ruth is found dead at the bottom of the club's pool. Okay, yeah. Was there anything else? Look, like I said, I'm not going to read all these, but I pulled just some that were giving me summer vibes or fit a few of the things I've got going on. Also, just for my own, I made a personal challenge for myself for the summer, because why not throw one other thing on the list? And that's, for me, A Summer of Saul. I have 1,000,001 John Saul books, or most of them are right up here on the top. I think I've read one. So I picked a John Saul book for June, July, and August. I've picked The Unloved, because I love this cover. I have picked Nathaniel. And then I've picked The Right Hand of Evil, because it looks like a haunted house. So, me personally, this is going to be just a personal challenge, John Saul summer. A summer of Saul. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. Other than that, I mean, that's it. That's a lot, right? It's enough. It's enough. I think I've got plenty to keep me busy. Let me know what you're going to get into for June. Are you doing any of the events? Again, everyone will be linked below, okay? I feel like I'm actually even forgetting some stuff. So, whatever. But I'm really looking forward to summer reading. Summer's always, it's fun for reading, I think. So, I think that's it. That's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching. As always, again, this may or may not be edited, because I may or may not still be having technical difficulties. Bear with me, please. Yes. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one, okay? Bye.